This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
It's like a little dot in the sky that's orange and cloudy.
Mother Nature treated the entire U.S. to quite the show today with the total solar eclipse. And while the valley didn't get as dark as some other places, it was still noticeable. And clouds in the sky didn't stop hundreds of people from attending events all across the FM area. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric shows us how people marked what for many is a once-in-a-lifetime event.
The universe puts on quite the show as the moon slides between Earth and the sun.
He told me don't stare at him, like, but it's pretty.
Other folks offered onlookers the chance to watch the moon block out the sun. MSUM hosting 2 telescopes with special lenses.
Basically the same stuff that goes in these eclipse glasses here.
And a contraption called the Sun Spotter, which reflected the light onto a piece of white paper.
It's still definitely really cool to see, especially like young, well, really any age.
Whole families turned out in Dragon Country. And back across the river where the James Carlson Library played host to another large gathering.
We had the day off and we wanted to do something fun, and these are my girls and my little brother here, their uncle, so we're just enjoying this rare occasion.
We are watching the sun and moon change in different ways, and we went inside for a little bit to get a cookie, and
just seeing the sun and the moons coming and blocking it a little bit, and the sun's just halfway gone pretty much.
Cookies and eclipse glasses were the flavor of the afternoon at the library. On the north side of Fargo, students took advantage of their lunch break. Large crowds treated to the dark side of the moon in multiple fashions.
It's supposed to be the darkest at 1, but yeah, it's kind of freaky. My friends invited me to come see the eclipse, and so I took them up on the offer. We've been here since 11:45.
And Sandgren says she watched the crowd grow and grow as the sky turned darker.
It's blackened and crescent. It's very neat.
It may have been a little cloudy, a bit hazy, but folks were not going to miss another Mother Nature spectacular. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
And Fargo-Moorhead will be treated again to a total solar eclipse in 2099. This time will be in the path where it gets completely dark. And the eclipse was also a big hit in the Northern Valley. Take a look. Many kids, parents, and interested spectators turned out in Grand Forks. More than 100 people came to Grand Forks Public Library to check out the astronomical event. And of course, remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. That way you can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. And we're still seeing some of those clouds after today's eclipse. How much longer are they sticking around?
Well, most of us are clearing out quite nicely. A few clouds continue up in the Northern Valley and our eastern counties. More on that in a second as we take a look back with our time lapse today. The veil of clouds and the blocking of the sun's rays by the moon causing temperatures to dip a bit as we went through the peak of the eclipse here in Fargo. We are now up into the mid-70s for our afternoon. Most of the cloud cover and showers in the eastern counties as we head into the evening. That's where you may need your umbrella. Right from the Bagley area up into central parts of Beltrami County in the Red Lakes areas where we're seeing the heaviest of the shower activity. We'll still see some passing showers elsewhere, but for the vast majority of us, things will be all smiles, like this kid. Safe viewing of the Lake Park area. This is Becky Mitchell's daughter enjoying her view of today's celestial event. Temperatures in the 70s through 7, and then cooling off into the 60s. It looks like a fairly quiet night of weather for most. I'll have details on our next chance of rain, as well as a cool week of weather ahead here in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Hutch.
Yes.
And we're continuing to follow a developing story tonight. A North Fargo family is searching for their missing loved one and is asking for the public's help. 22-year-old Savannah Graywind is pregnant and was last seen on Saturday at her North Fargo apartment building. She went to a neighbor's apartment to be fitted for a dress, and her family hasn't heard from her since. The family and police did go to that apartment, but the woman there said Savannah had left earlier. Savannah is Native American with green eyes, long brown hair, and a tan complexion. So if you know where Savannah is, call Fargo Police at 701-235-4493. And investigators are still working to figure out what caused a garage fire in Dilworth this morning. The Dilworth Fire Department was called out around 7 o'clock to 13th Street Northeast. The homeowners woke up and noticed smoke and the charring around the garage doors. Crews are not sure what started the fire when it started or how long it lasted. But fire officials say the family is lucky it was not more serious.
It's unusual. Yeah, that's not something that's very common, and they're very fortunate in this case. They were in their house sleeping throughout the night, and they did not realize that there was a fire in their garage.
While the garage and cars inside are damaged, the inside of the home was not touched by smoke or flames. We're also following new developments in a fire investigation out of Jamestown. Police are now looking for what caused a garage to go up in flames. Emergency crews were called out to this home last Wednesday. Investigators say they found out the garage was being used as a living space, but they are unsure if someone was inside at the time of the fire. The Jamestown fire chief announced Friday that the investigation had been turned over to the police department. And right now, police are not releasing any other details, but do say that it is an open criminal investigation. The Navy's top admiral ordered the entire fleet to take a one-day operational pause today in order to make sure they are running their ships safely, a day after the USS John S. McCain collided with an oil tanker off Singapore. 10 sailors are still missing and 5 others were hurt when the guided missile destroyer collided with a merchant vessel. The Navy said the ship was damaged but heading to port under its own power. This is the second collision involving a Navy ship in the Pacific in just 2 months. The last one resulted in the death of 7 sailors. 3 commanding officers involved with that crash were relieved of their duties. Police in Spain say they have killed the man wanted for a deadly truck attack in Barcelona last week. They have confirmed that the Barcelona van suspect, Yanez Abu Yaqub, has been shot dead in a small town about 28 miles west of Barcelona. They say he may have had on an explosives belt that was removed by a bomb squad robot. Abu Yaqub had been the focus of an intense manhunt after authorities say he used a van to mow down pedestrians in Barcelona's famous Las Ramblas promenade on Thursday. That event killed 13 people and injured over 120 others. Police believed he stabbed to death a man and to take his car after he had ditched the van. A woman run down later that day, believed to be by fleeing the suspect, was the 15th victim. President Trump will unveil a new military strategy for Afghanistan on national television tonight. We're learning he will likely send in more troops. Mola Lenghi has more from the White House.
U.S. troops in Afghanistan could soon be getting reinforcements. The president is expected to outline a plan to send about 4,000 more and put new pressure on Pakistan to stop providing safe haven for terrorists when he goes on national television tonight.
The president has made a decision, as he said. He wants to be the one to announce it to the American people, so I'll stand silent.
The president met with key advisors last week at Camp David. Defense Secretary James Mattis said the president's decision-making process was rigorous and involved all members of his national security team. President Trump made his Afghanistan decision without former chief strategist Steve Bannon, who was fired on Friday. It was Bannon who urged the president to send paid mercenaries instead of troops to Afghanistan. The president has often questioned whether the U.S. should pull out of the country.
I want to find out why we've been there for 17 years.
Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, a member of the Armed Services Committee, appeared on MSNBC's Morning Joe.
We want to be invested in Afghanistan, to kind of put it bluntly, so that what happens in Afghanistan stays in Afghanistan.
The U.S. sent troops to Afghanistan in 2001 following the September 11th terror attacks. It is the longest war in U.S. history. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
Valley News Live will be airing the president's remarks on Afghanistan on KX4 with coverage starting at 8 o'clock. And over on KVLY NBC, we'll be breaking in during tonight's episode of American Ninja Warrior. The city of Fargo has been awarded over $1 million to help the development of a couple of projects in town. The Congressman Kevin Cramer announced today that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development has awarded over $600,000 to the Community Development Block Grant. This program provides yearly grants to help provide decent housing and suitable living. Another $336,000 was awarded to the Home Grant. That program provides supply for affordable housing to low-income families.